The time has come. It is time to unbox a Switch 2. Hi, I'm Sophia Camarda if you are new, and today we are unboxing the lovely Nintendo Switch 2. This is the Mario Kart bundle, and this has the code already on the console. As I'm filming this, it's July 16th, and I got the Switch off of the Target website. They're restocking very often online, and I got this shipped to me, so if you're still trying to get a Switch, that might be the move. I wasn't going to get a Switch 2 yet. Like, I saw everybody doing the unboxings. I saw all the cozy gamers. Like, I saw all of it, okay? And yes, I was jealous. But I told myself we are not getting a Switch 2 until I know that Animal Crossing is coming out. I need that confirmation. However, I have been seeing rumors that Animal Crossing is coming out next year. Also, I saw the Switch 2 in Target and I got to like play with it, and I was immediately convinced. I was like, no, actually we need this. So I got it, and honestly, I have no regrets. I've been very heavy into my Animal Crossing town recently, and my Switch is not cutting it. Let me introduce her to you guys. This is the original Switch. I got this before we even knew what a coronavirus was. So just think about that. Like that's giving fossil. It's definitely time for an upgrade. And today we are going to be doing the most iconic Switch 2 unboxing. This is actually the first console unboxing on my channel. So to celebrate that, make sure you subscribe. I know you guys probably just want to see the unboxing, so let's just get into that part, and then we'll do more of an assessment once we get it out. I'll give you guys a better look of the box. We have this lovely Switch 2 on the front. On the side, it shows it in the kickstand mode, and then on the back, you could see it being docked. And then here's a look of how the screen is. The bigger screen is definitely a huge upgrade. So there's this little flap down here, and then it opens like this. I know doing this in midair is a little chaotic, but what are you gonna do? And let's see what's inside. There it is! Okay, wait, I'm so excited. It has the Switch in the flesh. We've got the Switch itself, which looks like this, and we're gonna take it out of the packaging in a second. And then we also have two of the Joy-Cons, and these are magnetic now, and they are way bigger, so I feel like these are gonna be way more comfortable than the original Switch. I love that. We've got some other things. This is the manual, which I'm not gonna read. They give us an HDMI cable, and they also give us these little, I think they're like straps for the Joy-Cons. Even when I was a little kid and I played with the Wii, I never used the strap, and I probably am not gonna use these either. Then we have this USB-C cable here. We also have the power brick, which looks like this. This is a lot more sleek, and I like how it's not attached, because on the Switch you have like this huge brick attached to the cable, so this is better. Then we get one of these little Joy-Con holder things to make it into a controller. I actually have the other one for the Switch, so I'll compare those in a second. And then lastly, we have the dock, which looks like this, and it just says Switch 2 on the front. There it is from the side. So there's two USB-C ports on it, and then you also have the HDMI in the back here. This comes open like that, and you could see all the connections here. So there's the AC adapter, HDMI out, and then you even have Ethernet if you wanted to link it directly to your Ethernet. But let's put that back on. So that's everything in the box. Now let's actually like turn it on, because honestly, that's what everyone is here for. I've got the Switch. It definitely is a lot heavier than my Switch by itself. Here's what it looks like. It's very glossy on the front. The back looks like this. It has this kickstand here, so you just take it out like, is that how you do it? I feel like I'm gonna break it. Okay, that is very skinny. Like, Bella Hadid left the chat because that is so tiny. I feel like I could snap it in half, okay? And then on the sides, you have the two different colors where you connect the Joy-Cons magnetically. We have the blue side, and then obviously we have the red side too. So let's get the Joy-Cons out. Here's the blue one. Here's what it looks like up close. It is very crispy looking. It has bigger buttons up here. It's just bigger in general, so it's gonna be a lot easier for people to hold. It just feels less like toy, you know? So it snaps on magnetically like this. And it's pretty on there. Like, how do you get it off? Jeez, okay. You have to pull pretty hard to get it off, so that is not going anywhere. Here's the red one. Looks like that. Very cute. And let's snap it on. And here it is! The whole thing put together by me. Oh my gosh, it feels very substantial. Like, it's a lot heavier and bigger than the Switch that I have now. The screen is really shiny too. So here's a close-up look of it. And I will do like more in-depth shots. I just want to like get through the unboxing. But here's what it's looking like. As you can see, it's super shiny. Like, you could see my whole camera setup. And then here it is from the back. It looks like that. And it's pretty big. So let me just grab my Switch. I have the original. It has seen better days for sure. But like, look how different this is, just size-wise. It's pretty crazy. And then here's the difference from the front. So it is a lot bigger and it just feels like legit. Like, this feels like the Lite now, and then this feels like a real console. I haven't really had much experience with like the handheld consoles. I know there's a lot of them out there these days. You get what I'm saying. It's giving these. So I guess we should go ahead and turn it on. I am gonna switch the camera and we can go through the setup and all of that and look at it more in detail. But already I'm in love with this thing. Like, I'm so happy I got it. Okay, I will see you guys at the desk. Here's a close-up look of the Switch. Don't mind my reflection, but it is looking beautiful. There's the back where you can see the stand, and the top, which has the power and volume buttons along with a USB-C port, headphone jack, game card slot, and microphone. And the bottom also has a USB-C port. Now let's turn it on and experience some ASMR. Okay, I was not expecting to get caught in 4K like this. Bro. So we got the transfer to start, and this will take about 30 minutes, so BRB. So we're in the Switch, and all of my games are downloading, which is great. You can see all of them here. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and download the Mario Kart World that comes with the Switch. So I'm going into the eShop and signing in. Right when I opened it, there was already an option to download the game, so I just scrolled down and hit download, and it started immediately. So that was really easy. And it has these new virtual game cards. It did a little animation for that. Now I'm gonna let that download, and in the meantime, I'm gonna show you guys the difference between the original Switch and the Switch 2. So on the Switch 2, you have magnetic Joy-Cons, and on the Switch 1, you have this pull release button. So they slide out like this, and on the Switch 2, they're magnetic and they just come off with the release button. The Switch 1 Joy-Cons are a lot smaller, especially the buttons on the top of them versus on the Switch 2. These are a lot bigger and the buttons on the top have a lot more room for your fingers, which is great. So that's how they look side by side, and here's a more in-depth size comparison so you can really see the difference. And here's the little controller holders that come with them. This is the Switch 2 one, and then here's the Switch 1. Again, these slide in versus the Switch 2 2 is magnetic, and the controller itself put together is bigger for the Switch 2, which is great because it's a lot more comfortable in your hand and it feels a lot less cheap and flimsy compared to the Switch 1. So that's how they look side by side, and here's a look at the back of them too to really get in detail. Now let's go ahead and look at the screens. As you could see, the Switch 2 has a really vibrant glossy screen, but let's go ahead and load some games and really compare how these two look. So my first plan was to do Animal Crossing side by side, and I realized that on the Switch 2 my island was on there and was no longer on the Switch 1, so I just went ahead and focused just on the Switch 2 at first to see if I can notice any immediate differences. So here it is prompting me to play the existing data and load up my island, and this went very smoothly. I was kind of concerned because I have seen a few people say that they lost their island while transferring over, but I didn't have that issue. Here's the home screen, and honestly everything looks so crispy. I never had the OLED Switch, but I always really wanted it, and I feel like this gives the same effect. Obviously I can't show those side by side, but it looks just as vibrant as an OLED screen. Here we are messing around with my villagers and perusing around the island. It looks great. I feel like things are running a little more smoothly and quickly. Here's the loading screen from the campsite, and as you can see it's pretty fast, so I just feel like everything is a lot less laggy. Not that the Switch 1 was laggy, but this just feels very seamless on the new Switch. But honestly you could tell this game is not 4K, and I just want them to update it for the Switch 2 or just come out with a new one. Like, hello! So anyway, now we're testing Mario Kart World, and this looks absolutely amazing because this game is actually in 4K and has the newest graphics, so all the colors are just so bright. But let's go ahead and actually try a match. Here's some of the characters, so they actually added a lot more and there's still a ton to unlock. I love playing as the babies, so I'm baby Rosalina, and here's some of the cars. Again, there's still so many that you end up unlocking, so this is a huge improvement from Mario Kart 8. As you could see, these are the tracks that they have. Some of them are really cool and creative, and others are more like throwback ones that have been remastered. So let's play on 100cc just to keep it easy. We are in the classic Moo Moo Meadows, and it's also showing the other tracks in the race. What's cool is that all of the tracks kind of connect environments. It feels a lot more immersive. But anyway, let's try racing, and you guys are about to see my Mario Kart skills. Fun fact, my driving instructor when I was in high school said I had amazing steering, and I really think it's from playing Mario Kart. Like, I'm not even kidding. Anyway, here's me racing. It feels very smooth. There are new items and also classic items. You can really tell just how clear the quality is and how smooth the game runs when you're playing. And honestly, I noticed that the NPCs are a lot more ruthless in this one. They tried to sabotage me at the end with the blue shell, but it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So we got first, and that's our first race on the new game. So now I wanted to show you guys how Animal Crossing looks on the old Switch to compare the two. I had to load the virtual game card from my Switch 2. There it is loading up, and once I entered the game, I quickly realized these nephews of Tom Nook were about to scam me again because I did not feel like making another island. That's just not gonna happen in this video. I didn't promise professional content, okay? I promised an iconic unboxing. It would not be iconic to waste our time getting scammed again by these raccoons. So now lastly, I want to compare how the Switch looks on the TV. So here's a look at the docks once again. Do not judge my dusty Switch dock, but here you could see the overall design difference. And here's how I hooked up the cables to the Switch 2 dock. And my TV actually supports 4K 120Hz, so I made sure to plug it into that output. Before we get more into it, I want to set the vibe, so I'm doing my hue lights. I did want to mention that the Switch does run 4K, but it will not run 120Hz at 4K. It only does it at 1080p and 1440. So even though my TV supports it and we are at 4K, it's not going to be outputting that. But let's go ahead and enter Animal Crossing again. And this time we'll be seeing it from the TV perspective, and I feel like this will be a lot easier to kind of judge the graphics. Obviously, this is a video recording of my TV, so it's not going to be the best, but you can definitely tell the smoothness just by watching the TV and seeing how that looks, and everything looks great and super vibrant. But honestly, the biggest difference was in Mario Kart World. world. On my TV, it looked so crispy and everything was absolutely beautiful. Every color was so bright and it just felt so smooth and crispy looking, especially all the different scenes in the tracks and the colors. It just looked like you were in a movie. This is definitely the most beautiful Mario game I've ever seen. On the TV, it just does it so much more justice than using it handheld. So here's a look at, I think this is Peach's castle. Look how beautiful the sunset looks and all of the colors. Everything is so balanced very nicely. You could see all these different little effects like the water splashing on the screen and all the little sparks around the character. It just looks so clean and all of the surroundings have so much detail. Playing on the TV is my favorite way to play the Switch, and I highly recommend doing that, especially if you have a TV that is in 4K like mine, because you can really appreciate those updated graphics. Okay guys, so it has been a week since I've had my Switch 2, and I want to give a final recap of what I think of having the console this far. I love this Switch 2, and I'm so happy I got it. I knew that I was gonna get it eventually, so honestly it was just a matter of when, but I've been playing with it every single day along with my fiance. We love this thing. We love checking in on my Animal Crossing town, and it has been so much better playing on the Switch 2 because it's so much smoother, and I find that the best part is the Joy-Cons never disconnect and they're very responsive even when they're not attached to the Switch 2, and that was something that really annoyed me with my original Switch and made me not want to play Animal Crossing. So it has been a much more pleasurable experience, and everything just looks so beautiful on this screen. As I said earlier, it's not OLED, but it really does look OLED. It's so much more rich in color, and even though it's glossy, there's not much of a glare when you're playing. My next favorite game has been Mario Kart World. We play this every night. We have been going crazy trying to get 3 stars on all of the tracks, but it is genuinely really hard. Like, the NPCs are not messing around, and I feel like sometimes it's a bit unfair, but that kind of adds to the classic Mario Kart rage. So it is a lot of fun, and all of the tracks are beautiful. We actually unlocked the secret level that has the new Rainbow Road on it, and this is the most beautiful Rainbow Road I've ever seen. It's been so much fun to experiment with what characters to choose and what vehicles to choose, and so far my favorite have been Rosalina and Peach and collecting their different outfits, and my favorite car has been the Cloud 9 vehicle. I just think it's so cute and it runs actually pretty well, and it's just been so nice to play a new Mario Kart after not having one for so many years. And then lastly, another game that I haven't tried yet but James has been playing is the Donkey Kong Bonanza. People have been loving this game, and while I haven't got a chance to play it yet, it does look really crispy just like the new Mario game, especially the way that you can punch all of your surroundings and kind of like mold the world around you. It seems really cool, so eventually I'll have to play that one, but I did want to mention that. So overall, I have been loving the Switch 2. It's not crazy different, but it's definitely a needed upgrade, and I think eventually everyone that has a Switch should get the Switch 2. It's definitely rekindled my love for Switch games because I did kind of take a long break from them, and this has brought me back to playing those kind of games. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you like my content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!